The royal familial chess game takes a compelling turn as King Charles's calculated attempt to marginalize Prince Andrew reveals a nuanced power struggle steeped in complex interpersonal dynamics. Richard Eden's transparent media manipulation becomes glaringly evident, artificially weaving Prince Harry into a narrative primarily centered on Charles and Andrew's territorial dispute over Royal Lodge. By gratuitously inserting Harry's name into the controversy, Eden seemingly attempts to resurrect sensationalist themes that have dominated royal reportage despite the current saga's distinct contours. Charles's strategic withdrawal of financial support appears meticulously designed to pressure Andrew, yet paradoxically exposes the king's vulnerability. Andrew's potential retaliatory capacity to sell out familial secrets looms as an unspoken threat. The intricate power play unfolding reveals less about Andrew's actual loyalty and more about the monarchy's internal mechanisms of control, punishment, and potential mutual destruction, with Eden's reporting serving merely as a transparent narrative laundering mechanism to obscure the fundamental power dynamics at play. Royal family feud. Charles's calculated eviction attempt of Prince Andrew. Andrew can actually spill Charles and William's secrets if he wants to do so, because honestly, it seems there is a lot of things we still don't know about the two. But I don't think it can do well as Harry's memoir spare. Harry's intentions were not about destroying Charles and William. All he said was concerning how he was affected and how his wife and kids suffered in the toxic cage. And Richard Eden's sensationalist reporting, desperately attempting to weave Prince Harry's previous familial controversies into this narrative, only serves to highlight the media's transparent manipulation of royal tensions, transforming what should be a private familial dispute into a public spectacle of institutional power dynamics gone awry. I even doubt if this whole saga is true. It might just be another tactic to humiliate the Sussexes. The Royal Lodge standoff, Andrew's defiance and the Crown's dilemma. In a stunning display of familial resilience, Prince Andrew has effectively checkmated King Charles in the ongoing Royal Lodge dispute, demonstrating a remarkable ability to resist royal displacement despite the monarch's calculated attempts to marginalize him. Andrew and Sarah Ferguson's consistent discretion stands in sharp contrast to the Sussex narrative, with their steadfast commitment to institutional privacy serving as a powerful testament to their understanding of royal protocol, a point that seemingly escapes the sensationalist reporting attempting to dramatize what is essentially an internal family property negotiation. Exactly. Andrew's book could be very damaging if it focused on the royal family itself. Spilling everything said behind closed doors, that could be very damaging. Harry was very careful in Spare to focus on his own story, which was his whole point in writing it. If Andrew is less focused on his own story, of which nobody cares, and more focused on the landmines that Harry seemed careful to avoid, it would be a huge bestseller. Glad he has decided to totally frustrate Charles. Royal rancor, Charles, Andrew, and the media's calculated narrative. The media's portrayal of the royal rift has taken a predictably sensationalist turn, with Richard Eden's piece in the Mail craftily weaving a narrative that simultaneously vilifies King Charles while subtly inserting Prince Harry into a drama that fundamentally centers on brotherly antagonism. Does Richard Eden have anything else to do? Eden's calculated reporting suggests a sympathetic angle towards Prince Andrew, painting him as a potential whistleblower who could comprehensively humiliate the monarch, while strategically reminding readers of Harry's past transgressions. This is total manipulation by the royals and their correspondents. Andrew is also a psychopath, and I am sure that if he was to publish a book, there's a lot of his story he would sideline or rather leave out from his book. The book would totally sell out because of a lot of dirty secrets, so Charles would better watch out lest it all blows up in his face. King Charles finds himself ensnared in a precarious financial and familial quagmire with Royal Lodge, where the estimated £1 million annual maintenance costs now intersect with his strategic attempt to dislodge Prince Andrew. The monarch's calculated move to withdraw funds appears less about fiscal prudence and more about a calculated pressure campaign. Yet Andrew remains obstinately entrenched. By highlighting Andrew's potential to sell out the family while simultaneously portraying him as potentially loyal, Eden reveals the mercurial nature of royal reporting, where each paragraph is a carefully constructed chess move designed to provoke and manipulate public perception. Charles's dilemma is not merely financial, but deeply psychological. How to assert royal authority without triggering a potentially catastrophic familial exposure that could unravel the carefully maintained Windsor facade. In the intricate chess game of royal politics, Prince Andrew has emerged as an unexpected power player, wielding a potent weapon far more dangerous than any public statement: the threat of insider knowledge. His implicit bargaining chip lies in the vast repository of family secrets accumulated over decades, a treasure trove that could potentially destabilize the monarchy if strategically revealed. While Prince Harry's memoir exposed personal narratives, Andrew's potential revelations could be far more systemic and damaging, presenting a silent but formidable leverage against King Charles. It would be a massive blow if Andrew spills about the late Diana, toxic dynamics within the royal family, embezzlement of funds, and long-rumoured skeletons hidden in the royal closet. It's unlikely Andrew has enough money to fund the upkeep of Royal Lodge and his lifestyle indefinitely, but has enough for right now. I actually expect Charles to reinstate his allowance quietly within the year, and we're never going to hear of Royal Lodge leaving Andrew again. I think he had some money, but used the threat of a tell-all to get Charles to completely cave, which is what is so humiliating for Charles. As always, the royals know how to cover up things from the public. Richard Eden's claims are biased, and he is totally afraid that Andrew has shaken things up. The reason he wants to put Harry into this whole story, by highlighting the potential risks of Charles alienating Andrew, Eden craftily introduces a sensationalist angle that suggests Andrew could become a destabilizing force, much like Harry has been perceived. The media's role in this drama is particularly insidious, with Eden seemingly relishing the opportunity to portray Charles as potentially making a strategic misstep by pushing Andrew into a corner where he might feel compelled to retaliate. Moreover, Eden's piece subtly implies that Andrew has a lot more to tell about these royal lunatics. In a predictably desperate attempt to manipulate public perception, Richard Eden once again demonstrates his journalistic opportunism by forcibly inserting Prince Harry into a narrative that fundamentally centers on King Charles's calculated confrontation with Prince Andrew. Eden's pathetic narrative gymnastics seek to resurrect Harry's controversial memoir Spare as a comparative backdrop, attempting to paint Andrew's potential media revelations through the same sensationalist lens. While Harry's tell-all exposed intimate royal dynamics, the current saga between Charles and Andrew represents a more nuanced power struggle, with Andrew wielding the unspoken threat of familial exposés as his primary leverage. Eden's transparent strategy appears designed to redirect attention from Charles's increasingly desperate maneuvers to displace Andrew from Royal Lodge, instead reframing the conflict through the well-worn Harry narrative that has proven media catnip over recent years. This remains clear in the intricate chess game of royal reputation management. Each piece moves with calculated precision, and the media stands ready to amplify every calculated whisper. What a total joke. Richard Eden's latest piece epitomizes the pathetic media spin, attempting to drag Prince Harry into a familial conflict that fundamentally centers on King Charles's ruthless maneuvering against Prince Andrew, revealing more about the journalist's desperation than any substantive royal drama. By invoking Harry's name and past actions, Eden transparently tries to reframe a complex narrative of familial displacement and financial power struggles, inadvertently highlighting Andrew's precarious yet surprisingly resilient position against the monarch's calculated attempts to marginalize him. The transparent attempt to paint Andrew as a potential whistleblower, while simultaneously portraying him as a pathetic and villainous figure, betrays a media strategy more interested in sensationalism than nuanced reporting, demonstrating how royal correspondents like Eden continue to manufacture drama where substantive analysis would serve readers better.